Are we on?
We are live.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm trying to figure out so we're streaming. Welcome. First of all, welcome. So I'm trying to stream through. We're actually using StreamYard today, if you guys haven't noticed. Hello, hello. You can see Brandon in the corner. Wait a minute. You know what? I have to. Can you guys? Oh, yeah, never mind. I don't need the mic for this. Oh, my God, my head. I'm so used to having the mic like with your voice coming through, right? Like adjusting my own volume for the
right.
So I'm like, wait a minute, nobody can hear Brandon.
I'm right here. We don't got to do much this time.
All right. Anyway, welcome everybody. Sorry for that insanity just a second ago, but yeah, I think you guys are kind of used to me, so that's all good.
They know there's a little chaos to be expected.
Right? Especially when we try something new, it's like, oh, what disaster could possibly happen today? Right?
We even planned for this, and it still happened over time.
So yesterday we actually spent, what was it, about 3 hours on StreamYard yesterday trying to, we did not a fake broadcast or anything like that, but it was like, trying to work everything out and all of that. So thank you, Jessica. Jessica said she loves my shirt. So I'm going to show you guys something cool. So there we go. This is making me so happy. I'm so excited about all of this. So we thought we would try this. If you guys really like this setup, I think we're going to be using this, on a regular basis, actually. And Brandon will be coming onto the show at times. You guys will be able to see his beautiful face that I'm always talking him about. Like, come on, we got
to see you. One day, it's coming soon. Yes. I did want to say thank you to everybody. We're testing this little StreamYard thing out, and we're considering doing the professional, and I just wanted to say thank you all for your donations and stuff. That's going to cover our cost to be able to use the software if we want to upgrade to the professional version. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, because we appreciate you supporting us, and we do whatever we can to support y'all for coming here. And that's one of the ways I was telling you about last week, that we take the money and we reinvest it back into the show, because it's it's a part of us, yes, but it's also for you guys, for our listeners here. So just a big hug and piece of gratitude for all of you that have came and donated and listened and got readings. We love you guys.
I want to extend my thanks as well, because this is you guys and your donations, just even coming onto the show, listening, the subscribers, the likes, the shares, all of that. We can't even tell you how much that actually means to us. Like, it is such an honor to be able to be here for you guys as well. And you're showing that appreciation means the world to us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We actually talk about this quite often, about, how amazing you guys are. So thank you so much to everybody. And, so tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so that's interesting. Anybody really super excited about it? I'm just.
I was thinking about this the other day, and the last time I got excited for Valentine's Day, and to be honest, it was back in grade school when we got little themed, the little tiny Valentine's Day cards. And they were themed, whatever, you would give them to a crush or whoever you wanted to talk to, or a friend, or teachers, whatever it was. And it was just fun to collect a whole bunch of different Valentines. I don't know. That was really exciting for me. But now I still think it's beautiful for anybody to celebrate love. But something that you and I, Kathy, were talking about was this whole idea of self-love, but also giving love to other people. There's this fine line, and you had mentioned it was an article that you read, right, or something.
So I was reading this article the other day, and it was really interesting. And we always hear about spiritual teachers about love themselves, love yourself. You have to give yourself love first, blah blah blah. And it almost kind of gives that connotation of like, until you love yourself, nobody's going to come along and love you. And for me, I've always struggled with that. I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to get a little bit personal. Well, that's okay. But I've always struggled, not particularly with self-love, because I'm a fairly, confident person for the most part. I know my abilities. I know, what I can and cannot do. I always challenge myself. I always try to, move forward. Right. But there is that, yeah. Okay. So just as an example, there's been, these, throughout my life, I guess, and again, I'm sorry for getting a little bit into the more personal thing, but there's been times throughout my life where, you feel it's not that you're unworthy to you. I think it's more of the I deserve better moments than it is the, oh my God, I'm unworthy moments, if that makes any sense. But, there was times, like even when I was married, where, my ex-husband would ignore me for, my birthday. Right. I mean, we were married at the time, totally ignore me, go the whole day without saying a word. And so there's that, you do struggle with that love part coming from somebody else, even if you do know what you deserve. But here's the thing is that there is a lot of, and even Valentine's Day, you're kind of expecting something from somebody, whether it's just a happy Valentine's Day or, a card or flowers, or, even if it's a single flower that somebody just plucked out of somebody's garden. I mean, that can mean the world, right? It's not about the quantity or the, it's from the heart, right? And that can mean the world to somebody. So I always did struggle with that because it was always like I had to give myself love as opposed to other people, I guess, kind of showing it to me. And so I did struggle with that. And then when I would read these articles about, these self-love things, even though I was confident, it was like, okay, well, am I not deserving of love in some way? Like how come this isn't coming through? How come this isn't happening? Whatever it was. And I was thinking about it and I thought, there's a lot of people that have struggled with like childhood abuse, people that have, really struggled with their worthiness. And I'm blessed in that place where I do feel like I do feel worthy. It's not so much particularly about that. It's like, but is somebody else feeling that I'm worthy? And, and then you got to kind of wonder, okay, maybe that person, is that somebody that I should have in my life? If I'm not deserving to them of a 2-second text saying happy Valentine's Day or something along that line. Like, those are things that we always have to struggle with, but there are truly people out there and we all know them and we may even be part of them, that are like, hey, I was abused. this is the environment I grew up in, all of this. And they don't feel that self-worth within themselves. And I thought, well, of course they're deserving of love. Of course they are. It doesn't mean that we have to fall into a pattern of being with the wrong people and dealing with people that are, with addictions or abuse or any of that. I mean, that's not what we're talking about. But if we're staying in this place of I'm not worthy of love until I love myself. Well, as we were talking about yesterday, Brandon, sometimes people showing you love is that way of feeling loved, whether we, I mean, a true love. I don't mean an abusive love. I don't mean an energy of, hey, baby, I love you tonight at 11 o'clock at night. Hey, come on over. Let's hit the bed. I love you. That bullshit. Somebody, whether this is from friends, our parents, maybe even in some, general way, our teachers as we're growing up, somebody who's there and saying, look, you are worthy. You can write this essay. I know you can do better on this math. I know you can do this. You've got this talent. I mean, we all come through, we all have that ability to have those mentors or people that are within our lives, right? That try to show us, some form of love. But I think we kind of have to dismiss that idea that we all have to just love ourselves in order to be worthy of love. And it doesn't mean that we cannot expect the best, or that we can't, or that we're not worthy of, basically what I'm trying to say. Do you want to take that over? Because I think I'm going to end up going into a big ramble here.
No, it's extremely important what you're saying. One of the biggest things that I really appreciate, and it's even in one of my videos on my YouTube, where I talk about, how to find true and real love. But what I didn't address, and what you're kind of talking about here, is that what if somebody doesn't really know how to love? What if they were just given so many bad examples, or had gone through so many different traumas, like you were saying, when they were younger and developing, that they just don't even know what love looks like or feels like? And I think that's where this argument is important, because getting love from somebody else really can help heal some of the wounds that you feel inside, and teach you how to really even love and give love to yourself or to others in the first place. But on the same side, on the other side of this argument, being able to give love absolutely brings it back to you. And some of the people who have gone through the most intense traumas are deeply loving people that constantly give love to others, So obviously it's all going to be about balance. But what I always speak on, and I think the argument here is the fact that we constantly have this idea bombarded into our brain by outside influences, especially media, movies, Hollywood entertainment, that love is something that exists in another realm, as if it's a fairy tale, and that you have to give of yourself completely in order to be in love or have a true love relationship. And I like the fact that the idea being pounded into the brains by a lot of the new age woke spiritual movement is the fact that you do have to love yourself in order to love another, because there is truth to that. And I think, again, it's a case-by-case basis, but I think the generalization in that idea is perfect. That, yes, you do have to love yourself. That it's extremely important, and you're not going to be able to understand love to its full capacity until you can love yourself. So I agree and disagree with what you're talking about with this article. But I think, again, that underlying message of loving yourself to love another is way better than you have to give completely of yourself to even have love or have a loving relationship in your life. I think that message is better, to love yourself. But like I said, that's something I talk about in my video. The love that you have and feel with yourself, that relationship you have with yourself, will directly reflect the relationships you have with other people. How can I mistake? Oh, Jamila asked a good question here.
Yeah, I'm just reading that. So I'm going to put it up onto the thing here. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, pin it up.
But what if a person who does not know what love is or how to love, how can they not mistake that lust for love? I think that's an actually excellent question. Okay, we were just, when you were mentioning about movies, I'm going to be honest with you, there are movies that do represent love. I mean, when we watch them, we get a clear view of what some forms of love are. I mean, again, my favorite movie is P.S. I Love You, right?
Yeah,
I mean, here's somebody who went and put all of these, put this whole thing together, knowing he was passing away for his wife because he knew her so well. I mean,
but you see the other side of love, you see the loss and the heartbreak, and you see what love looks like on the inverse when the physical idea of it isn't there, but the feelings are all still there. And I like what that movie suggests, that it is a feeling-based thing and it doesn't have to be physical. And like you said in the movie, he's not even there. He plans, his own little after death scenario and situation.
I think we all have a form of what love is, and when we talk about lust, it's like Polly Free just said, 99% of people can understand real love. It's usually a choice that they're making if it's not being received and mirrored properly. And I do agree with that to some degree. Here's the thing is, a lot of times, especially when we're dealing, I mean, a lot of my clients are obviously women, and we do get into a place where we hear from clients, but he must love me because he thinks of me at 11 o'clock at night. He must love me because of this, or he must love me because, he does buy me flowers after he beats the shit out of me. But not always that. I mean, it doesn't always have to have a form of abuse, but there are those places that we go to where we make exceptions for people, thinking that their behavior is out of love as opposed to lust. And here's the difference. How do we know? Because love doesn't require a validation.
True.
And that is one way. Love doesn't require a validation. And when I give to my kids, for instance, okay, I don't expect them, to sit there and, dance around a maypole and be like, oh, I have the best mom in the world. I have to announce it on social media. I have to do this. I have to do that. That's not love. I don't expect that from them. I do it because I love them. This is from my heart. This is to you. So you have to take a look what is the validation coming through to somebody else. If you can just say to somebody, look, I love you, without that validation back. Now, here's the difference. If you're not getting a form of validation back, if somebody's like, hey, thanks for your love. I got a date tonight, so catch you later. There's not a love there. Okay. That's where you go, I can give this love. I can give it from my heart, but I don't need to. But I'm letting you go. I can send you off with love. Okay, right. I can send you off with love, but I don't need to stay in that where I'm continuously giving that physical form of loving energy. That would be the lust, right?
This is where I would argue, though, that people can be in love with more than one person at the same time. So if somebody says that they love you and then go out on a date with somebody else, if your relationship together did not have the boundaries of not being able to see other people, then there shouldn't be an issue, right? If you have that
boundaries were not there in the first place.
Right.
And that's where I have to argue with that. Because if the boundaries aren't there, or if you haven't set those boundaries in some form ahead of time. I mean, we all hear about the polyamorous relationships and the swinging and this and the other, whatever crap is out there. And that's fine. I mean, that's up to them. But here, you have to have those boundaries first. And if those boundaries are not acceptable with that one person, then,
It's so important and I think this is something that people lack in a lot of their intimate and personal relationships, is that they don't ever set any kind of clear guideline or roadmap or idea or goal of where they want the relationship to go. It's like, okay, do you want this to be a simple, casual relationship? Do you want this to be long-term, monogamous? Like, not enough people, I think, sit down and actually set the parameters and goals. What is the purpose of our relationship? What are we creating together? And then you get all sorts of misconstrued ideas, miscommunication, people feeling like they're getting betrayed, stabbed in the back, etc. But if they had just had that conversation in the beginning, they would have been totally clear and understood that they're either on the same page, on different pages, or in a whole different book.
Yeah.
But I do
And
have
that's
two
where
ways.
communication comes in, right? That communication.
Mhm.
And I think to some degree, if you're being deprived of that communication, and it doesn't need to be, hey, look at, we're going to go really deep and we're going to discuss like the roots of the trees, you know, that type of,
Right.
What's that?
Right. It doesn't have to
Right.
be.
But if you're not at least getting, hey, look at, you know, I'm going to date you, but I am dating others. But because then we're coming down to choices, and you're allowing the person choices. And I think that's why, you know, for me, like maybe it's that Aquarian energy. I have no idea, but Aquarians are all about choices. Like, give me the choice. Don't make that choice for me. Don't make the decision for me. It's not your right to make a decision. It's not your right to make a choice for me. You lay down what it is, and I can accept or I cannot accept.
Right.
And if I accept, then I can, you know, that's on me, right? Then I can't have other expectations.
Right.
If I don't accept, then, you know, but at least that honest communication has come through first,
You
right?
know, I have two ways to identify this per Jamila's question here. She had asked about what's the difference between, you know, how does somebody know the difference between lust and love?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that noting energetically, if you are energetically aware of yourself, your body, and the energy that kind of moves through you or around you, you will feel a pull in either the sacral chakra or the heart chakra. You know, if you're being pulled by the area of, you know, the pubic, the genitals, fueled by ideas of sex and sexuality, it's most likely going to be lust, honestly. But when you are pulled from heart, you don't really consider things like, how are our genitals going to fit together, or, you know, what's this going to be? It just happens because it's in addition. The feelings and sensations of sexuality is complementing the feelings that are already there.
Absolutely.
So there is a distinct feeling of a difference. But even if you don't have that, I can tell you one thing that I learned from a very good friend of mine. It's plain and simple of what love is. Love equals unconditional acceptance. When you can accept somebody unconditionally for all that they are, I feel that is love. That is exactly what love is. When you can accept them for any of their flaws, faults, strengths,
for sure, right? Yeah, you're not trying to change them.
Unconditional acceptance. When you accept somebody unconditionally, that is love.
Sorry, I forgot to turn my notification down on. Sorry about that, guys. Hang on a second. Let me go into my volume. Okay. It's accepting, yes. But again, it always comes down to choice. You're accepting the person. You can accept them and say, look at, hey, I'm accepting that you're an alcoholic. I'm accepting that you're abusive. I'm accepting that, but it's my choice as to whether or not I want to be there. And to some degree, right there is sort of a way to figure out if somebody is unconditionally in love with you, right? Because if you're in this place, let's just say, and we've had couples like this, you know, or we've had people, you know, with our readings where, you know, they've said, look at, you know, I'm giving him all of this unconditional love. And, you know, I just don't know if I can stay with an alcoholic or an abuser or whatever it is, you know, that they are. But that person is trying to convince them to stay too. So where is that unconditional love boundary? Well, you might be giving it to them because of the fact that you're saying, look at, I know this is where you are. I can get you the help, whatever it is. But romantically, this might not be the best fit for me because this is what I want for my life. And that person who's receiving that has to go into that place of unconditional love as well and say, look, I totally get it. I totally get it. And, you know, I'm going to go get the help I need or whatever it is. I understand that this isn't fair to you. Right. Exactly. And so that is that, you know, back and forth unconditional love too.
Yes, and you have a better chance.
yeah, let's try to work this out, but I'm not going to convince you to stay. This is my plan because I love you enough to take this route. You know, I'm going to go to AA. I'm going to go to, you know, get therapy for abuse. I'm going to, you know, check into my own abandonment issues. I'm going to talk to, I want to make this work. So I'm going to do what I can to make this work. And I'm giving you this choice to stay with me or whatever. Right. So, yeah.
Even if that person isn't even doing it out of self-love, right? Even if they're choosing to go get help out of a sense of obligation for whom they're in love with, I think that's a great start. And that goes back to what we were originally arguing was, you know, the love another versus self-love. That love of another, that unconditional love from another to somebody who needs to go get help and chooses to, really can be a catalyst for them just starting to understand, oh, shoot, you know, oh my gosh, I see how much I've been neglecting the love for my own self. You know, I think that's why it does work. And what you're saying is applicable, that getting love from another really can be monumental and healing for you to even learn what it looks like to love yourself. So there are obviously so many different scenarios and cases for this, but that's why I really like this kind of catch-all, love equals unconditional acceptance, because it really encompasses everything. Now, people are speaking up in the chat and stuff about, yes, it also needs respect. And like you're saying, you know, it also needs boundaries and choices, etc. And yes, of course, when we deal with the concept of relationships, yes, relationships need those things, but love just is. Love is a state of being. And arguably, love is how we're all here today. You know, we're here from an act of love in some form or another. That's how the body is created, right? Like that's how we humans are made. So it almost seems inherent within us, if that makes sense, that if we are made out of love, which is sex, right? We're made out of an act of love, sex, that we would be inherently loving beings. I don't know. I find it to be interesting when some people claim that they don't know or know what love is, when in fact most of us are really made from it, and that's kind of the natural way. But that's also why we're here, Kathy. We're here to help people understand and find love in their lives and find it for themselves. And that's part of why we do what we do. And honestly, it's a huge part of people's interest in psychics is to get love answers. It's a huge part.
Absolutely. That's going to be 99% of our work is, you know, people wanting to, you know, here's the bottom line. Really what they're trying to figure out is, am I wasting my time with this energy? That's really, you know, what it comes down to. Am I wasting my time with the energy that I'm putting out? And I have to answer to some degree, you know, is unconditional love towards anybody going to be a waste of time? No. But how much energy are you putting towards that? That could be more of the issue, right? Like it's not so much about the unconditional love. I think, you know, as humans, I want to say that we should unconditionally love everybody, but I mean, I'm good. That's a little bit too difficult to do. Right? I mean, let's be realistic, right? I mean, there's some assholes in the world. We don't need to love them. We can give them a heart chakra energy of love in that extent. Like, I hope you heal. I wish you the best. I wish that, you know, you would see the light of your assholeness or whatever, or, you know, we can give them a sense of love, but it doesn't mean that we have to sit there and tolerate the behavior.
This is a huge debate in the spiritual community. It's like, how much do you love people who are awful, right? Who exhibit awful or bad actions that go against themselves or others? How much do you love them? How much should you love them? And, you know, the both sides of that argument is, well, they're the people that need love obviously a little bit more because it's so apparent in their expressions and behaviors. But at the same time, it's like, oh gosh, you know, are they even worthy? Are they even deserving of love? And, you know, when you get to that sort of mentality, you're automatically creating a judgment and comparison mechanism in your mind. So it's like, you're putting yourself and digging them deeper into a hole, which again, I will go back to the catch-all, is just sending unconditional love. But like you said, Kathy, you can choose not to be around that person, interact with that person, have anything to do with them. But
you can still give unconditional love from the heart. It just doesn't mean that you have to waste the energy in a physical sense with that person and have it affect your energy, because then we're not demonstrating a true love for ourselves also.
Yes. Exactly.
And that's going to be the bottom line, right? You know, we can say, hey, you're worthy of love. Yes, I'll give you that love. Here you go. But you can go sit in that love in the corner, way over there on another side of the world. And I'm going to take my love and I'm going to go my place, and I'm going to put that in myself, and I'm going to draw in those people that are on that same vibration as the love
that's exactly it. You're bringing me, you're jumping right onto my next idea and point, which is the fact that if you're in that loving state, the chances of you being around or staying around a person who is not in love, who is awful or mean, the chances of you being around them for any length of time or at all is it's very slim, because you're just operating on different frequencies. You're just operating completely different. I would definitely invite you all to explore David R. Hawkins, his map of consciousness, and it shows this nice detail. Actually, I might be able to screen share it with you all. And bring it up here on the stream, which we can do now. Thanks to Kathy getting us on StreamYard. It so clearly details the levels that kind of are created when your consciousness is in certain states. So like anger is going to be a very lower vibrational state, just like guilt or sadness, etc. But joy, gratitude, those things are such high frequencies. Let's see if I can share this with you all here.
Yeah, and as everybody's saying, like respect, you know, and here's the thing: is respect isn't that hard to do. You know, I mean, everybody is going to have a different level of what they consider respect, but there's also very basic manners of respect as well. You know, opening a door, or, you know, being kind to somebody, or whatever it is. I mean, we're all going to it's basically not taking advantage of somebody else's generosity, their love, you know, being honest, being open, being as clear as possible, you know, with what it is that you have expectations for, or what it is that you're expecting of somebody else. I mean, these are all little things that we can do with respect, because they're, you know, in some countries, I mean, respect is completely taken a completely different way. I mean, we have Asian countries where, you know, if we were to introduce some Western, you know, mannerisms, that would be like completely disrespectful, right? That's completely disrespectful. Same with us. Like, you know, if somebody slams a door in our face, we're going to be like, dude, what? You know? But, and I don't think anybody in the world is, you know, doing that as a matter of respect, but you get the idea, right? Like, we're all going to have different levels of respect. And that's where we need to be really honest and open with our communication. When somebody is disrespecting you to a level, you know, it's okay to say to them, look, my standards are here. These are my standards. This is what I expect out of us. And again, what we're doing is we're not only giving a choice towards somebody and saying, look, this is what I expect out of our relationship, or I respect from a person that I'm dating. And that person has that choice to say, that's a little much for me. Or they can say, hey, I honestly didn't realize that was, you know, a huge thing for you, and I'm going to honor it. So now you've given them that choice. You've given them that choice in a beautiful and kind way to really say, okay, I agree with this, or I don't agree with this. Right. And it always comes down to that communication and choice. I mean, again, some people are raised like feral and they're not taught respect. and we're
Right.
seeing examples of that in civilization right now, because of, there are a lot of parents out there that are kind of like, oh no, it's okay that Johnny spit on you, it's all right, isn't he cute? And you're just like, hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that little Johnny would be in a whole different place if I was the mom. But I mean, again, that's, it's up to us to say. So we have to be able to say, look, I find that extremely disrespectful from little Johnny. And that's, this is my level. The mom can say, hey, screw you, and you can go whatever, but you have to set that boundary. You have to say, this is okay, or this is not okay with me. And you have to be very clear, and you have to be very honest about it. Right. And it's funny, there's so much passive aggressiveness around, and it's like, hey, we're psychics, but I can't read your freaking mind all the time. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's different. Psychic and telepathic. Those are different abilities.
Right. And, or even, but I mean, even, just the, on a day-to-day, everybody, regular type of people, which, ultimately we are also that too, to some degree. Right. So, you have to be able to set that boundary, you have to be able to use your words, use your communication, and, and be able to speak clearly and say, look, this is not cool, or that this is cool. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to click this add to stream, I think is what we're doing here, right? And
Yeah. So this
okay.
is what I wanted to share. It's from the book Power versus Force, which I highly recommend to anybody listening here. And it details all the sort of different states, the emotions that are felt in that certain level. I love how it details, your perception or view on God, or, the higher power that may be above you, your view on life and how it looks. And then he just names it and gives it a level name, which I really do like. But then it tells you all the different processes that happen, within yourself or your own consciousness. For example, when you are in a state of being disappointing, right? The level name they call it is desire, which I really like, because when you're only desiring, you're constantly in that state of disappointment. So what results, the emotion that results, is that craving. And then that process is like an enslavement process. You literally allow yourself to become enslaved by the desires that you're feeling. But if you jump up even to just a state of, let's see, satisfactory, your view on life is satisfactory. That level name is neutrality. You're just kind of neutral. You're base neutral. You're just, in one little spot. You're not too overly optimistic. You're not too pessimistic, but the emotion that comes through is trust. I think that's a beautiful, nice level space that a lot of people should be coming to, even, just today, even now. If we could all just collectively get to a place like that, my goodness, it would be a whole, gosh, even just the permitting one, things being feasible, I think things would be a huge benefit. But I just thought that was a really beautiful example of the ways in which consciousness works. You can really kind of put yourself on this little map, figure out, like, where do you guys feel that you all are? What level do you feel that you are currently, right now? And is there something that can bring you to the next level up? Do you feel that there's something that could put you in that next step? And that's honestly a lot of what I work to achieve, is helping you get to each next step. Where do you personally want to be? That's why when clients come to me, the first thing I do is connect with them, so that they know and see and feel and hear that I'm very much connected to their energy, and I'm channeling, whatever's going on with them. But then my next goal is like, okay, now you tell me where you want to go. Where do you want to go? I'm going to help you get there.
And that's exactly it. A lot of times people will come to us and they'll be like, look, this is where I am. What do you see from this person? What do you see this? Where, what are they feeling? And it's like, well, where do you want to be? And I think that's such an important such an important question. Where do you want to be within this relationship? And like you said, let me guide you. Let me help you get there. Here's a path. These are things that you may need to release. These are things that you may need to, look at it in a different perspective. This is what I'm picking up from this person's perspective. How do we make this match? How do we make this flow? And how do we bring this together? And
exactly.
And I think that that's, an amazing way when the client takes that and goes, wow, okay, so this isn't just a matter of, are they going to call in like 2 minutes? Are they going to call me tomorrow? This is a path. This is a pathway. So let's bring you there. Is it going to be instant? Who knows, right? It depends on how fast that energy can change. Maybe there's things that person has to release first. Maybe there's things that you have to release first. And this is all going to be a process. But through this work, we can bring that to a place of feeling that companionship, that unconditional love, bringing it together as a sort of a partnership in some way, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about.
Right. So Polly Free is actually asking, he says, hey, dream teacher, what would a person who sees auras be defined as? A psychic or a telepathic? I'm going to say a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of both. I would go, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the psychic because clairvoyance is really how auras are often perceived. What's happening is your brain is superimposing images over the image that's captured through the eyes, and it's giving that sort of quote unquote auric distortion. But clairvoyance is a psychic ability because you're interpreting energy and it's being interpreted by the brain through vision or visualization. Telepathy is more like a radio, more like sending a thought across a wire, an unseen thing, or like airwaves, and the other person or entity receiving that information directly as it was released. So telepathy is definitely more mental. Arguably, all psychic senses are mental because they're interpreted by the brain. But for me personally, I'd side a little bit more on the psychic side with auras, just because an aura is a feeling thing. It's dictated by how you feel within yourself. That's kind of how the aura is even generated and then thus interpreted. So I would agree, Kathy, it is a little bit of both, but I think it leans a little more on the psychic side from what I've come to understand.
Yeah. Have you guys, I don't know if you guys have ever read the Celestian Prophecies. You know what? Here's the thing. I love this book. I know some people have read the book and they'll be like, it is so boring. And I'm like, please just, it's not so much the story, it's about the concepts that are in the story. And it's not so much that it's boring, but I mean, it was written, in the 70s or 80s or something like that. So, it's a little bit of different writing. But it's beautiful, but it does talk about seeing that energy and seeing that aura. And the people that are actually in the book, they're not psychic at all, but really what it is going through and allowing. And like we talked about last week, it really had to do with being in the here and now, the allowing, the listening to spirit, being in this place where we're not, what does this mean? What does that mean? What is this? It's like, again, being in that place of just being allowing. And a lot of that energy for auras was really seen, from the concept of the book was that auras really were seen once you get into that energy and you just allow yourself to look as opposed to making the judgments that are, in front of you. And I thought that was quite beautiful. It's one of those things. Is it more of a psychic thing? I do believe so. Usually, those people, when they're seeing that aura, they're really, they're in this place of that higher vibration of being able to pick up those different energies and wavelengths and, whatever it is, whether it's sound, visual, physical feeling, all of that. But I do feel that auras can be seen by what's I don't want to just say normal, because that just sounds like we're special, or, and I don't mean it in that way. But I've met people who will say, look, I have no psychic sense at all. I'm like a lamppost. I tend to argue with them about that, because I'll be like, I don't really agree with that. I think you're a lot more sensitive than you're allowing yourself to believe. But they can see auras. They can see that. But it's, again, I feel like maybe, the psychic abilities of that person are just different, right? Because we all tend to go, well, if you're psychic, you should be able to predict the future. You should be able to know the lottery numbers. You should be able to know the precise day and time of this and that and the other thing. But it doesn't work that way. There's different psychic abilities. I don't know. Do you see auras at all, Brandon?
It comes intermittently for me, but oftentimes when I see auras the most is when I take off like my glasses or I don't have any contacts in, and I'm looking at a person and they look quite distorted. I have bad far vision. So what does that mean? I'm nearsighted? No, farsighted. I can never remember which ones it is, but I can't see things far away. So when I look at somebody far away, their image comes up blurry. And then that, for whatever reason, since I'm not looking at all the details of the face and the body and the clothing, it allows the aura to kind of seep into my consciousness. So I do see them, but it's usually mostly when I'm not like wearing glasses, which I find interesting.
Right. I have seen them in the past, but I'm going to be honest, I don't see them on a regular basis. I don't really think about it. I guess I'm not really in that place where I'm like, oh, I can see your aura. And, like but I have run into people where you're looking at them and it's like, ooh, like you're glowing. Like I actually see a glow coming from you. And it's like I wouldn't say it's like an energy field, but I guess an aura to some degree is an energy field. But it was more like there, you can just really see that that aura spreading out, and you see it going into the different colors, and you see what it is that they're allowing, almost like those wavelengths that are coming off of a person.
Yeah,
right?
it is like a wave, like a cloudy kind of misty wave.
That's exactly it. But I don't really see them on a regular basis. I can't say that I do. I don't know if I'd want to. I mean, I think it would be cool. But
you want to hear something weird?
Yeah.
So one of the ways that my brain sort of interprets auras is I'll see somebody, connect with somebody, and a sound or song pops into my brain. Yes. And that song represents like their aura or their energy at that moment. And I literally just walk around the world, and you can ask anybody that's around me for any length of time. I mean, there's constantly a sound or song in my head at all times. All times.
Hey, what's my song? I want to know my song.
I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa. That's totally your energy. Totally your energy right now.
I love it. I have heard that before. It's funny because a lot of times I wake up, now it's not so much when I see people, although that has happened, but it'll be like I'll wake up with a song in my head a lot of times.
Oh yeah, me too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or suddenly throughout the day, I'll hear something and it'll sound like a song or whatever. And, it'll be like, lyrics playing over and over, but you become so used to, I guess, mind clutter. I suppose is the best way to say it, like, cause you're constantly thinking or whatever, but it's, all of a sudden you'll realize, hey, wait a minute, this is an actual song. These are lyrics. What is this? It's like, what does this mean? What does this mean? I don't know. Usually it'll show up at some point later in the day. It's like kind of a prelude to something. So yeah, kind of cool.
I love it. That's one of my favorite things. I mean, I love music. I honestly, one thing that I did hear once is that all genuine, real psychics have perfect pitch. Now, I think that it could be a huge generalization. But I think there is something to it, because the people that I've really noticed, that have some great psychic abilities also know, like, and can detect notes, pitches, sounds, tones very easily, because they're sensitive to those things, because they're sensitive to the way that certain notes or tones make you feel, how they kind of make you react. So I always kind of find that intriguing too, that there's all sorts of different correlations between like human abilities and denoting some kind of psychic or extrasensory ability. I always find that cool.
Denise, I don't know if it really has to do, she was saying, I wonder if I should walk around with my glasses to try to see auras. I've been wearing glasses since I was 9. I mean, I don't know exactly what I am. So I can see close up, but I can't see far away.
I think that's nearsighted.
Okay.
I think that's what Cinder, I think, was saying in the chat, that they're nearsighted as well. So I think it's called nearsighted. I remember it kind of being a little backwards when I learned that, and I always switch them up.
Yeah. I got kind of messed up with that too.
Because it doesn't make sense, because if you're nearsighted, that means that, then that means that you can see near. You can't see far. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
I guess I'm nearsighted because I don't need reading glasses. I see really good, for them. I mean, I struggle sometimes with the computer screen that's, a foot or so or a foot and a half or so away, but I can still read most everything. I just have to kind of go a little bit closer. But, I don't need them for most things. Like I can't wear them when I'm looking at the computer. I can't wear them, or on my laptop. I can't wear them with my phone. So I'm assuming, but I feel like, walk with caution and don't drive.
Well, I have a friend. I was just mentioning.
100% Cinder. That's exactly it.
I have a friend who does this, and they literally, we had lived in New York City at the same time. And I remember learning that they had just as poor vision as I did, and not being able to see far away. And I'm over here making sure I have my glasses constantly so I can see subway signs and, street signs and everything. So I know what in the world is going on. And I learned that they were literally navigating with that same vision that I had without glasses, contacts, nothing. And, ironically, they're one of the most psychic people that I know and do see auras. So maybe there is something to it, Denise. I don't know. I don't know if I can be risky enough to just navigate the world without glasses. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had like drivers and chauffeurs and people to help take care of like travel, especially because just the idea of traveling without glasses, that rocks me to my core.
Here's the interesting thing, because again, with that book, The Celestian Prophecies, that is pretty much how a utopian world to some degree would be within that book. Like one of the scrolls that comes through, it's like, I think it's the 9th scroll. And it really does talk about people with abilities. But this is worldwide, this is globally. And, so let's say you're a farmer and that's your talent is, making the best corn in the world or the best cows or whatever, like that's your thing. You're basically exchanging energy. And so instead of it being money, it's like, hey, the readers would have drivers, they would have chauffeurs, but they're paid, those chauffeurs are paid through the energy of the psychic or of the medium or whatever it is, or the farmer would be paid, would be paying the chauffeur with food, whereas the chauffeur, like it's all energy exchange, right? And basically creating a realm where there is that dollar really means nothing. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And it very well might be something we see in the world increasing, is some kind of barter system.
Yeah.
In this way. It very well could be a reality.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking what we should do, maybe maybe open up the room for readings. We did get so as we've mentioned before, we usually do the I can't speak. We'll do the donations first. So we did put do you want to explain how it works, Brandon? Like how we're doing the readings?
Yes. So just like I was mentioning here in the chat, so wait for the sound of the bell. That way we get everybody kind of in at the same time. You will be entered into a lottery list. So we'll be taking as many readings as we can within the time allotted here. But we do honor and accept donations and honor those first. So you get first priority. That way you have a guaranteed spot at getting a reading here on today's show. Otherwise, you'll be put into the lottery where I use a random number generator. I associate your name with a number, and I click the little button. And when that number is called, that means that you have received and won a reading. So you can use the donation link in the chat there. Again, we appreciate you all doing so. That really is amazing of you all. And it is not required, and there's not a required amount. It's just the fact that you are investing into us. We, invest back into y'all. So we really appreciate it. But again, it's not required. And you can easily get on the lottery list here. If you didn't get a chance to get a reading, because we can't always get to everybody, we try, but like we talked about, our show is growing. More and more people are showing up, which we are deeply grateful for. But that means we can't get to everybody in the time allotted. So if you did want to have a private reading with myself or Kathy, our websites are here underneath our names. Let's see, Kathy, all you have to do is unpin the banner and our little websites will pop up. For me, at thedreamteacher.com, you can book a free consultation if you're not sure of what you want, what you can experience with me, what we're supposed to do together. Book a free consultation. We can figure it out together, figure out if we're a good match. But you can do all that at thedreamteacher.com for me.
So for my readings, okay, there we go. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger right now so people can also get your website as well. So you can contact me on my website at oracleintuitions.com for my readings. You can also message me through Facebook or Instagram for personal readings. So I'm just going to, my personal readings for an hour are $85 an hour. Okay. I do try to keep the cost that is, I try to keep it at a really reasonable amount. Okay. And we do try to stick to that hour. We can also do video readings. So those are $30 for 15 minutes. And you can send me any question, try to give me some details. This is going to be a 15-minute video reading that I do put up on YouTube, but it's through a private link. So you don't have to worry. Nobody's going to be seeing it. This is just going to be in response to your question. And, there's going to be help. There's going to be some advice. There's going to be, part of the psychic reading through all of this. So it's going to be a combination reading. I'm going to be honest, most of them go longer than the 15 minutes, when I'm doing the video reading, because I talk a lot. So, I'll be like, I'm thinking I'm doing a video reading for like 15 minutes. And I look at the clock, it's like half an hour. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just sending it to them and putting it up on. But it's a private link through YouTube. Okay. And again, you can contact me through, Facebook, my website, or Instagram for a personal reading. All of my readings are either phone or video chat. I don't do email readings simply because of the fact that I don't like typing all that much. I'm going to be perfectly honest. It's just not my thing. I can do the reading. I just prefer not to. Or again, we can do the video reading. Okay. Through through YouTube. So there we go. So
actually, you know what?
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to mention, because we are using StreamYard, we do have a little bit longer of a delay between the StreamYard and YouTube. So I think we're going to have you put your question in the chat as well as your first name and date of birth. So that way, when you're called on, we're not getting some dead air waiting 30 to 40 seconds for you to respond on the chat on YouTube. So let's do at the sound of the bell, when we open the room, if you want a reading, put your first name, your date of birth, or your zodiac sign, your sun sign, and your question in the chat. And that way we can kind of have everything compiled, because we gotta, configure this new setup here, we got to work with the delay a little bit. So that will help to lessen any dead air that might interfere with a little bit of a lag and delay.
You know what it reminds me of when we have that lag? You ever watch it? You ever see the horror movie Scream?
Mm-hmm.
When their reporter, what's her name, Courtney Cox, is heading out to the van, and she's like, "Oh shit, there's a delay." Oh no, it was the guy in the van who realizes that there was a delay. It always
yeah.
Like, uh-oh. Wait a minute. That was like a minute or so ago. Damn it. Where's that killer? I don't know why, but it always reminds, because that's one of my favorite movies too. So I don't know.
All right, so you're confirming some donations here, right?
I got it. Yeah, Polly and both will have. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we'll do Will first, and then Polly free. And if you guys want to, if you're waiting for your chance on the free lottery list and you really want a guaranteed reading today, we still will take donations up until the end of the show here. So if you feel like you really want to get in, we're still taking them. And again, you'll get priority whenever that does happen, but otherwise you'll just be put on the list. Depending on how many people here, you might have that chance.
Yeah. Polyfree, you know what? When we hear validation like you just put in the thing, and we've gotten private emails from people, or private things from people that have said, look at those predictions came true, whatever. I mean, hearing this today, this is why we do what we do, because oh my God, this is what we are here for, is for you. And this makes us so, so blessed to be able to do what we do, and to be able to hear from you that you're feeling blessed just by, receiving what it is that you receive, right? Like however it comes to fruition for you. I think this is absolutely, absolutely beautiful.
It is. We're deeply grateful that you even share this space with us, and you're able to take personal, the advice that we give, because it comes personally to you from us. We're connecting with you. We're connecting with your aura, your spirit, your soul, your body, your human body, your mind, your emotions. We're making it very personal for us, the way that we feel you and connect with you. So that's just awesome. Thank you, man. That's really awesome.
So I did confirm with Kaniki. They also just said that they sent a donation. So thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. I don't know if we know their question yet. Maybe just put your question.
So our
down.
donation people, Will, Nikki, Polly, I've got you last. If you guys want to put your first name, date of birth, or zodiac sign and question, I can type those into my notes here so that I have them. And that way we have your question. And we'll start here with Will. Once we're done with Polly, we will, should we open the room now and have everybody send their question, or just wait till
we could, because then there's they are starting. We'll take a break, a couple of minute break just before, so that we can kind of get everything organized, for putting them all into the lottery ones together, right? Like that might be not a bad idea, but
yeah, that works. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So Will.
So if you want to pin his question, maybe.
Yeah. Another year of no, it's not going to be a year of being single. I'm going to, I at first when I was reading that, I was like, okay, but Valentine's Day is tomorrow, but I don't feel anything tomorrow. And then I realized exactly what it was you were asking. And this is not going to be a year of you being single. I do feel though, I just need a second to tap into your energy, Will. I don't feel it's going to be right away. I feel like there's some things that you're really working on, or you're wanting to work on, or needing to complete first. Like, I feel like those are almost, and I feel like what I'm hearing is you kind of know that, like you already know that you've already set these priorities, or you're set these conditions, you know, whatever it is, like you already know what it is that you need to complete first, or you have a general idea of what it is that you need ahead of time. So what I keep getting, I keep hearing the word September. It may be before that. You might even meet somebody before September. But what I'm getting here is, as you're going through this path of, you know, putting things that you want into place for yourself, I keep feeling it's literally like, as you're completing those, I literally feel this rope of you attached to somebody else. And every time you're completing something, this rope is just coming closer and closer. It's like literally
That's a great analogy.
Right? Like
Yes.
it came out so clear. It's like I could just see it. It's like I completed a task. This. Every time I'm raising up my vibration, I'm pulling this person in. I can feel this person. I can feel the energy towards this person. And that's what I keep getting. And it's to me, it's coming in like, so it almost feels as though like that there needs to be that division. I'm getting a lot of distraction. So it almost feels like if you were in a relationship, there would be too much distraction for you to complete what you need to complete, or to do what you need to do. You can kind of involve yourself with people, maybe not particularly on a physical level, but there's an emotional and maybe a mental level where you can get really connected with somebody. And you maybe sometimes, I feel like you're kind of, you get, and I get this idea, I get this energy, right? Like I understand it. You can kind of be more into their energy than your own energy. So you might try to help them with things, or you might try to be more focused on them in some way, and your own stuff could go, you know, to the side. But what I'm getting here is your stuff is really important this year, and this needs to, you know, come together. That's what I'm really getting. And that's why there's this little bit of an energy space between you and this person coming through. But that's what I really get. I feel like as you're going through this, they're coming. So
it's interesting you say that, because when I ask Spirit the energy of the person that is coming in, what I keep being shown is somebody who is needing an emotional, specifically an emotional stability. I think stability overall, but somebody who really needs somebody who is stable in their own emotions and will.
right.
That feels like you. That feels just like your energy. You have that sturdy, stable kind of vibe to you, where you just seem as if you're a reliable person based on that energy that I feel. But I will agree with what Kathy said, that that's such a great analogy for what I'm also being shown, is like, it's as if that love, that connection, that relationship is attached to a rope, and that rope is slowly being pulled in towards you. It's such a great way, because what Spirit shows me is that they're showing me that this energy is kind of at a distance, resting on the surface, and is increasing in harmony. So it really is the same exact energy, just different interpretation.
Yeah, I hope that that's helped. It just feels, I just keep hearing that you need to focus on your surroundings right now, the things that you're trying to complete, the things that you want done. It just feels like that is going to be so important right now. It doesn't mean that you need to have them completed, okay? But it's
Right.
that energy into them. Like, you don't need to sit there, and again, we're talking like at the beginning of the show where we talked about, you don't need to be completely in love with yourself in order to receive love. We're not talking like that. You know, I don't mean it like you have to have all of your work completed before this person comes through. No. But that start of that energy flow is going to get things really, truly going and creating for you. And that's what I really get.
Exactly. Especially if you're going to be a rock for this person, that makes perfect sense that you need to stay focused on, your own self, your own stability, your own vibration. Because if I don't know. I just see this beautiful balance between you and the energy of this partner of just being you're kind of stable and steady, and they have a little bit of chaos, but there's excitement, and that chaos is quieted down to a nice little dull kind of roar where you get to have the excitement and the stability kind of all in one. You give each other a sense of balance, and that seems to be the strongest energy that's coming through when I connect. With that entity of the connection, the relationship. It just feels like it creates this inherent balance. So I think Kathy is perfectly describing what needs to be done right now.
Yeah. Yes, it helped. I can wait a couple of months. Okay. Yeah. I just feel like that's going to be so important, and it's not even so much that you needing patience or anything like that. It really just feels like get yourself involved in whatever it is that you're trying to create. And this is just going to show up,
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean that you have to put out an element of patience where you have to sit there and go, okay, this isn't happening till September. I mean, this can happen sooner. But, because timelines are flexible, right? But what I hear is that as soon as you start getting into it and you're really, I just feel like this person just kind of like you're drawing them through and you're working this energy and this person is coming through at the same time. So that's what I get. So it's not even about being patient or waiting. It's kind of like just doing what you need to do, and they're just going to literally appear. So, yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Will. I hope that's helped. Nikki. All right.
I love the spelling of the name too. I think that's cool.
Yeah. It reminds me of there was a Kaniki in Greece. I don't know if you remember the movie Greece. When I see that, I don't mean that in any
from Kaniki
negative connotation behind that for you, Kaniki, but that was as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that was my favorite character. So my favorite character in Greece. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm old. Okay. I would like to know what my employment future is. Okay. So, you're so welcome, Will. You're so very welcome. Kaniki, can you just give me a little bit more details, if you don't mind, behind that? I don't know if Brandon wants to jump right into that, but I do need a little bit more. Like, are you looking for? Is there a specific field? Are you looking?
I'll look into the energy here first.
Yeah.
I like doing that. I like seeing what I pick up first before they give me too many details. All right, Nikki. Oh, close to that cusp, but you're the Libra. Let's see here, Nikki.
It's pronounced Nikki. I like that. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the very first thing that I keep being shown, Spirit keeps showing me that there has been some kind of cutoff or detachment that has led to confusion, being unsure, and they just keep showing me a visual representation of home or being at home. I don't know if you've been stuck at home or working from home, but they just keep kind of showing me that things have been a little bit clouded, and you might be forced into some kind of disconnection with work previously or in the recent past. Maybe I don't know, maybe there was a layoff or it got fired or the place closed down themselves, something. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
But they are showing me that it just feels, just looking at the energy of employment currently, they are showing me that things are quite clouded, being unsure, being confused. So that seems to be the energy right now. Let's look into what is to come here in the future for you. And then if you wanted something more specific for Cathryn to tap in, you can follow what she was guiding here.
I just want to bring in too, I do pick up what Brandon was saying, but I'm also getting this energy of, it almost feels like you're, thank you, Denise. It almost feels as though you're in this energy where you really like to be busy. I almost feel like there's I don't want to say it's completely retail, but there's an element of retail, like where you're busy, like it just feels like arranging or displaying of some sort. So I'm not exactly sure where that's involved into, but I almost feel like I keep almost getting this element of self-employment to some degree. Like this might be an energy of it. I feel a real, are you an artist? Are you an artist or a creator of some sort? Because these things that you're arranging or displaying, it almost feels like they have an element of yourself in them. Like it feels like, I almost want to say export, or I don't know if you could just kind of clarify that, because there's this element behind this where it just feels very like almost like this element of self-employment, like it's time to seek this self-employment or trying to encourage this self-employment in some way. Or maybe perhaps it's like working with distributors or something along that line. I'd like to be artistic. Okay. Yeah.
I get what you're feeling, because when I connect, I do keep being shown that there's like an energy of somebody who wants to ride in and offer something. And I just keep being shown that this goes against personally what you want or what you want to do for your own self in life, Nikki. It feels like it's just creating this awkward rub. And it just, that's where I'm siding with Kathy, that it feels more appropriate to be working like for yourself or representing yourself in some way. I also keep being shown this feeling of deadened friendships trying to like surface and take your own growth. I don't know why that keeps coming up as far as just looking into your career. Perhaps there was a reliance on people, friendships, or maybe networked connections in your life, and those people turned out to be fruitless, or, you know, it could even go to the extreme of stabbing you in the back or taking something from you. Spirit keeps bringing that up. And I think this is, again, why I'm siding with Kathy here about doing something that is your own or of your own nature, your mind, ideas, or creativity. There seems to be something important to that.
So, you know, as it was funny, because as Brandon was saying that, I decided, I saw a card, one of my tarot cards. I decided to just pull out my card. And the card that came through was selling out. And I feel like,
oh,
isn't that interesting? But it also came with this element of love. So what I keep getting is this element that I feel like some of the jobs that you've had in the past weren't really to your, like you're above them. Like you're above them. Like you maybe had an element of selling out to that in some way, which is why also could be coming through with that element of self-employment. Like I just feel you have so much energy is what I'm getting. Like I'm getting a very high energy type of person. I'm getting a very high energy of like organization, being able to put things together in some manner that's going to be of a benefit to others. Like you could be highly, like I said, highly organized, highly being able to be that person that can maybe sell ice to an Eskimo type of person. Like you just got so much energy with that. And this is what I'm really getting at. It feels like you have sold out in the past, which is why I'm feeling something more. Now, as we're going through this, other things are coming through as well. So I keep hearing June, July, June, July, June, July. I don't feel that you're going to be unemployed or something like that until June or July, like because I am getting an element of like I'm getting this element of money coming towards you. Like I don't feel that you're going to be, you know, not with money is what I'm getting. But something about June and July, it's really interesting because I'm actually seeing the leaves turn on the trees in a, like from empty trees to full trees, you know, is what I'm getting, with an element of them turning from green to the fall. So it almost feels like for me, June, July, August, there's going to be some sort of increase, or maybe this is where you get your idea for the business. Maybe this is where it's launched. Maybe this is, or, whatever it is. So as far as career goes, I feel like June, July, August it's like it starts in June when those leaves turn, and you're going to be established in something come August, or at least have a very good, strong basis for what it is within August. So I hope that makes sense.
I resonate with that time frame as well, based on what I'm picking up. But one other thing I wanted to mention here real quick, Nikki, is Spirit shows me that there still is a need for you to engage in the creation process, because what they're showing me is that there needs to be accessed into that psychic, spiritual realm. And just as a quick little moment of teaching, the way to really get into that realm is just start using the imagination. If you want to start creating or manifesting, bringing things from an idea to physical reality, just go step into the imagination and literally imagine yourself doing, whatever it is that you feel that you want to do, or just having interaction with people that generates money, as far as a professional consideration or exchange. Spirit keeps showing me that using and accessing this realm, this higher frequency, this higher level of consciousness is what really opens the door for invitations. And they specifically show me this male's energy who comes to connect with you, and it seems like some kind of networking event. He is abroad, and he brings in an opportunity or situation of some kind that allows you and your career growth. I don't know if you saw yourself traveling in your work, Nikki, but I do feel like that is likely going to be a result of the work that you do in the future. Obviously, I think it'll happen after all the crazy lockdowns and stuff. But they keep showing me that his energy is far away, and he links to you in some kind of event or gathering, and then in turn it may even result in you traveling as well in your work down the line. I don't think that's going to be immediate, but it does seem to be a result or symptom of what's happening. But I think what's most important is it's important for you to access this realm right now of creation, get into the psychic area, get into the imagination area, and start manifesting.
Has that helped, Nikki? Or if there's any more clarification that we can add to that, I guess, in some way.
I don't know why I found that funny.
What's that?
I don't know. Just that. Did we hear anything?
I just want to I think Nikki's, that was okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. You're very welcome. It just feels like this is going to be a year that you were waiting for. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You're so cool. Okay. Big hugs, sweetie, because honestly, I feel like this is going to be a huge year. There's going to be something so amazing. And I feel like, it's interesting because you were talking about that, and I feel like there is that element of love. I don't know if that's in a romantic relationship that you were picking up, but it feels like this person putting love towards helping out in some way. But I do feel come June, you're going to see all of the benefits of that fruit of the labor. Like that's where that fruit really starts to change, and it's coming out and all of this stuff. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have you here. We are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki. All right.
So is Polly here?
Polly, I know he said he was stepping out for a moment, but we have gotten to the end. Hey, Jessica. So we haven't opened the lottery list yet. So we're just doing our last donation reading here. And then we will open that lottery list. All right, Polly's here.
All right. I will. So Polly, if you can just confirm. So I do have the date, which I will give to Brandon. Is there anything in specific that you wanted to know?
He did type the question. He did type it. It is 3:29 if you scroll up.
Somebody actually, oh my gosh, Denise, thank you so much for your donation as well. Did you want to put your question down below? Thank you so very much. We did receive a donation from Denise as well, and thank you so very much. Okay, Polly is, where's Polly's question?
So it's at 3:29 p.m. or 2:29 your time.
2:29. Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay.
He said, so she's the one, isn't she? LOL, best way I can.
Yes. Okay, so this is what I'm getting, Paul, Zach, is that I'm going to be honest with you. This is up to you. This is going to be up to you because I feel the energy from this person, she's going to give you some challenges. Remember, we told you that before in the past. And challenges not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. She's not going to challenge you. She's not going to challenge like your morals or your ethics or anything. I don't feel like she's going to challenge you in the, in the extent of her morals or her ethics or anything like that. What I'm actually getting here is that she is going to not let you settle. She's not going to let you digress. And she actually, I feel a very strong, and I would get bored without a challenge. Yeah, you would probably, right? What I'm getting is like, she is going to challenge you in a positive way, not in a negative way. I mean, she's not going to be tolerant of you. And I'm just using an example. This is not your energy or anything like that. Like, I don't want it to sound, negative, but, she's not the type of person. She's not going to tolerate you sitting on your ass. She's not going to tolerate you, being disrespectful. She's not going to tolerate a lot of energy that you may have in the past been wanting to send out. She's not going to tolerate, I'm really hearing she's not going to tolerate jealousy or possessiveness. She's not going to tolerate, these are high things to her. I feel like, oh my gosh. So when you look at her, I really get this element as you already know where it is that you want to go with this lady. And that energy is so strong. And I feel like she's there too, but she is going to be making you come forward a little bit. She's going to make you come forward a little bit. Like, I feel like she's going to be in that place of, you want me, you show me. You show me. No, that doesn't mean that you need to go over the top or you need to be, some men get into like the weird, I'm going to follow you around like she wants you to be that strong energy of who you are, not a puppy dog, not somebody who's, jealous or possessive or anything like that, but being who you are and showing her that energy of what kind of man you are, which we already know is very, very strong. Romeo syndrome. Yeah, she doesn't need that. Like, she's strong within herself, right? But she needs you to be the best man that you can be, not be for her, for you. And that's what she wants. And whether she says that out loud, this is the energy that she portrays. So you stay within that and you keep being that best person that you can be, which I already know that you're putting that energy towards. And again, I hope that didn't sound negative in any way, because that wasn't where I was trying to go. It's just what I'm getting is, don't revert back to old mindsets or habits of some sort, because I don't feel that those are recent. I feel those are in the past. Like, those are mindsets in the past or behaviors in the past. And I'm really getting here, it's time to step forward and leave those in the past, come forward and move forward with her, because like I said, she's going to challenge you, but in a very, very positive way. Very, very positive way. And I like this. I like this energy with the two of you.
I would agree. I like the energy too. When I first look at just the energy between Zach and Anna, I mean, I just feel this very, very clear, heart involved, emotional love that just keeps unlocking layer upon layer upon layer. I mean, the energy between the two of you really feels great. And it is a little bit surprising to me because just thinking about Pisces and Libra together, they seem to operate so differently. I mean, Pisces can be so surface level in comparison to, or I'm sorry, Libra can be so surface level in comparison to Pisces, who's, constantly in these watery depths. But there seems to be something that just clicks. It just works. When I'm looking at Anna's thoughts and feelings towards you, Zach, there really is this feeling of you being quite a presence in her life and somebody who she really can have fun with. I also see, though, on the inverse of what Kathy is saying, I also see that you're going to offer opportunities of growth for her, and that she's also going to be pushed into challenges. So it seems like you both are going to be challenging one another, and not in a fictitious or a way that results in some kind of disconnection, but a furthering of your own personal goals and agendas and your own beliefs and definitions. You really are going to push one another into good energy. The one thing that Spirit keeps showing me is it's going to feel like things are taking off quite quickly. They keep showing me things really picking up pace, like regressions are going backwards. Any of that energy is just cut out, and it just feels like accelerated by the speed of the sun. The way that light rays even move. It feels like things are going to move quickly from here.
So I pulled some cards for you, Zach. And this is really interesting because when we talked about, when I said about, you don't want to regress, you don't want to go backwards. And as Brandon said, he felt things really moving forward and moving forward fast. So I love this because this is what some of the things that you guys are going to challenge each other with. And I feel like to some degree, there is going to be a mutual, okay, but it may be, felt harder on one side. It may be, lessened on another side, whatever. These roles can switch, but I am getting, like the inner child healing. So continue to do this. This is going to be very important. I feel like the challenges that you feel or the things that you kind of want to go backwards in regression for, those are coming up because it's time to heal that inner child in order to move forward. Interesting. Second card that's coming through is victim consciousness. So this energy of victim consciousness is like playing the victim with yourself. Okay. Like, oh, why doesn't this ever work? Blah, blah. How come I can't? Like you don't want to get into that energy. And I don't feel, and again, that's kind of maybe a pathetic example, but you get the idea. What I'm getting here is home. This is you and her heading home. Any challenges that come up are to bring you home with each other. Any obstacles that you guys face is to bring you home. This is, I think of it, it's funny because I actually am literally seeing the woods and I don't know why, but it almost feels like the two of you walking through the woods. You're going to come up with obstacles. There's going to be whatever, animals or logs across a path or whatever, but it is that path to home. And that's what I keep getting. So I hope that helps. Okay. You guys, I love this. You guys pretty much told me before that it would feel like a slap in the face when I found my next partner. And this was totally that. Love it. Because, not in a negative way. I mean, I don't want anyone to feel like they've been slapped. But, it just feels like this person came in, you're in the right place to receive it. And there she was. Really, there she was. And the woods is my spirit land. That's amazing. Yeah, because I just kept seeing the woods like this had home. that home energy is what I was really, really getting. And a positive slap. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a positive slap. So again, just work out whatever is coming through, whatever it is that, you're feeling a little bit of panic or fear, or, whatever it is. Just remember, this is all to bring you home. This is just something to work through. You're going to make it fine. It's going to go really well for you. So, and it truly is all in your hands. Is what I'm feeling, like the both of you. It's going to be, this is a mutually beneficial relationship. And I feel that you two are going to guide each other as you go through this. So I hope that's helped.
We love you too, Zach.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely we do. Okay, so I'm going to just go, because Denise... and again, thank you so much, Denise. What is coming for me in love? Ooh, I feel like there's been some disappointment that you've been dealing with. Oh, okay, Denise. Again, I might need some confirmation in the chat, but I'm going to tell you the information that I'm receiving from you right now. Wow. There is definitely some disappointment, but here's the interesting thing. There is a part of your energy that was either A, expecting it, or either A, kind of pushed towards that disappointment. I don't know exactly how to phrase that, but it almost feels like there is a push from behind spirit saying, look it, we're kind of pushing you off this cliff right now because this is needed for you to fly in some way. Oh my goodness, that is crazy, right? She just said some drama. Okay, yeah, because it just feels like this is something that, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. That's how it feels. Like you knew it was going to happen, or you were pushing towards it in some way. I don't mean that you wanted it to happen. I mean that, that just sounds so whatever, but it almost feels like this energy from spirit, like I said, like this needed to happen in some manner. So what is coming forward for you in love? What's interesting? Why do I keep seeing a beach? Like literally, like it's like cliffs. And never mind the fact that I just said about going off a cliff. I don't mean it like that. But does this vision mean anything to you? Because I see almost like a cliffside with a beach underneath, with the ocean. I don't know what the hell that has anything to do with. I don't know if it has something to do with your personal life, or like where you live, or whatever. So you may want to just confirm that down below for me, because I'm not exactly sure what this is telling me, but it feels very peaceful, serene. There's a little bit of an energy of almost too serene, too peaceful. And I almost feel like an energy, somebody took, he parked on the cliffside. Okay, is this the person that, it was very romantic. Okay. Is this the person that we had this disappointment with? But this is what I'm getting shown here with this. Okay, I'm trying to see what is going on with your love life.
It's okay. Can I jump in here real quick?
No, yeah, of course you can. It's because I'm getting shown all kinds of things at this moment.
Yes. That's the issue. That's the thing. As soon as I ask about it, see, here's the thing. The first thing that popped into my head when I read your question, Denise, was, okay, what love are you talking about? What is it? We just discussed this at the beginning of the show, love being so many different things. And so just the fact that question popped in my mind, I'm like, ooh, I have a feeling that spirit is going to tell me this. And sure enough, they're showing me that you're actually going to likely experience some kind of energy drain right now, because there seems to be too much that you're open to or that you're letting into your life as far as love or love in general. And so what Spirit keeps showing me is that there is a clear need for personal definition, creating any of those lines or boundaries or guidelines that need to be set in. But then I sit here and think about it personally, and having connected with you in multiple shows, I feel like you are a person who does define clearly, what you want. So it makes me feel a little bit confused. But what Spirit keeps showing me is that it seems that something happened with your own energy. And I don't know if it happened recently, but they keep showing me something happened where it created a disconnect or detachment of your own personal, self-love, to be quite honest, but your own personal connection with what you really want to bring forth in your life. I don't know if you have kind of let go or had a sense of surrender, but Spirit, for whatever reason, just keeps showing me over and over that there's going to be an energy drain until the intuitive notion happens. So that shows me that there's something that your intuition is trying to communicate with you, and you haven't fully let it in yet. And because of that, an energy drain is happening as far as love or other people trying to connect with you or trying to come back in. So that definition really seems to be important, because it keeps coming up over and over again. And the fact that even Kathy, is talking about it, and I'm feeling the same thing when I connect with your energy. There's so many things that flood in, and they feel like potentials, they feel like possibilities, and they're not being put on path. It's like they're all being accepted, and they're not being given any sense of priority.
Yeah. It almost it's interesting, because as I'm looking at this cliff and this beach, I do feel that strong connection with him, but there's also this real strong element. It's almost like a vision for me where somebody's on the beach and walking and almost experiencing this. When I talk about being a lonely, okay, it doesn't feel like an element of loneliness, like you're lonely, like, somebody who's, desperate for love or attention or that anything like that. What I'm really getting is it almost feels like a hermit mode, like bringing yourself into, this hermit place where you're kind of happy in that energy. It's like you want to allow somebody to come through. You want to open up to that energy. You want to make that connection. But I feel like you're really in this place of going, I'm okay with being cocooned right now while I do the transformation that I need to transform into. I keep getting not to rush, not to push anything, because what I hear is as you're emerging from this transition state, you know what I'm getting, Denise? This is funny. You're going to laugh at this. I actually feel like somebody coming towards you, and you might be not quite ready to receive them yet. I could actually see you putting up your hand and going, yeah, you just stay right there where you are until I'm ready for you. When I'm ready for you,
they have emotional strength. The person that's coming in, they have emotional strength. They have solidity. Yes. They are solid. And it's like, that you're not ready, because that you're disconnecting from something else, whatever that energy drain is, or whomever is connected to you.
Yeah. And you're in this place, you'll accept them when you're ready to accept them. And I don't feel that there's a rush for this. Oh, good. She knows who it is. Perfect. Okay. Yay. I love it. But, I don't, because they're going to stay. They're going to be there. They're not, I don't feel like that, this is anything that you need to, when we're in hermit mode, the hermit always shows us the next step. Right. But when we're ready for that next step. So when he takes that next step, he takes his lantern, he shows us the next step. And this is very much your energy. There's no rush to get to the end of the path is what I'm getting. It feels like you take your time, you do the strength that, and gather the strength, gather the knowledge, gather the, go through your transition, do you. Like, that's what I'm getting. You don't need to rush through this. Is Kevin a bad thing?
That the person that's connected to
This
her.
could be totally somebody else, right? Like, this is just the energy that is coming through, but it doesn't need to be this person. But however, it just feels like there's not going to be a rush, because here's the thing, is where our vibration is going to bring in those people. Right? If our vibration is high, we're not going to attract a low vibrational person. And being in that hermit mode is going to allow that energy of that transformation, raising you up into that higher vibration. So when you're up here, I'm just want to give a little bit of an example. So I was actually explaining this to somebody, this week, a good friend of mine, who knows who she is, who's watching, maybe. Here, okay, so this is how things, energy works. So let's, if you guys remember the old math, where we have the 0 line, and then above that is 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. And then here we've got that negative 1, -2, -3, -4, right? So everybody, this is your baseline, is that 1. Most people run at about a 1 or 2. So a 1, or not most people, but there's a lot of people that are just in that 1 or 2. They don't have any spirituality. They're kind of like, I'm going to go home. I go to work. come home. I walk the dog. I eat craft dinner. I go to bed. That's their existence. They're perfectly mundane in their existence. Right?
Oh, yeah, psychic moment. Yeah,
right? So that's where they're running, that 1 or 2. Then you've got those people that are the 3, or the 3 and the 4. And they, they recognize that, maybe there's something out there. Maybe there's God. Maybe there's this. Maybe there's that. But they're still running in that basic mundane, typical mindset. Okay. They might be fascinated by hearing a story about a UFO, or they might be fascinated by this, or, but they don't delve into it. It's kind of like, that's cool. That's a cool story. We're just going to leave it like that. They kind of, again, they're quite happy with their 2.4 kids, the white picket house. That's it. Like they're good with that, or they're good with that job, or whatever it is. So that's where they're running. Then we've got the 5 and the 6. So the 5 and 6s are people that they have an element of spirituality to them. They might even be psychic. They might be intuitive. They might be, empathic to some degree, but they're still really running on a 3D level. They're really running on a 3D level as opposed to the 5D. I like to kind of call these people, to some degree, the fake psychics. I hate to say it, but it is, right? And these are the ones that you're kind of like, they're not delving into as much as they really should be delving into. Now we've got the 7s and 8s. Denise, you're a 7 and an 8. You're probably an 8. Very much so an 8. These are the people that are connected to spirit. Synchronicities happen, things happen, you manifest, you're able to see, hear, and do things that the average bear cannot do. You have those abilities. You know what it is that is, you're guided. You're guided by spirit. And this is where you are. So as you're raising your vibration within this hermit mode, which is what we were talking about, your spirit is here. So if somebody is in a negative, or not in a negative, but like that 1 or 2, or even in the negative scale, let's just say, they can't reach you. They can't reach you up here. They can't get you. So the higher you go, the more you're going to attract in that higher realm. And we have to remember that. So if you're worried about going into the hermit mode of what it's going to bring, remember that this is going to help bring your vibration up as opposed to lowering it. You're going to go through low moments, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you can't rise up. Like those low moments are just for releasing. They're not for you to stay in. So allow the low moments to come, release, and move up, because all of this releasing is bringing you to that higher vibration in order for this person to come to you. Interesting. I hear the word April. I don't know why I hear April. I feel like between now and April, there is going to be some work for you to do. There is going to be some work for you to do, but I do feel like this energy is coming towards you very, very strongly of this person in this higher vibration because of what you're sending out. So do you want to add to that?
That feels really important. And I actually, as soon as you said that, it hits all sorts of visions and bells in my own mind. That seems to be the opening. Really, things seems to start breaking open, blooming, flowering, etc. I think of a lot of springtime in April, of course, but it, for whatever reason, seems to coincide with what relationship is coming through for Denise. I had asked Kevin's date of birth because you had mentioned it's Kevin and that he is a mix. So I don't know if you're referencing what we were talking about that person coming in, or if this was the person that you had just disconnected from. But I will tell you this, that when I look at the energy between you and Kevin, it does feel, what Spirit shows me is that things feel like they're distant, almost like the two of you are on different pages or different peaks of a mountain, but you can like see one another and you can see that you're like coming closer and closer. Now they are showing me that things are coming closer to a surface level interaction. It feels social, feels socially engaged. But what Spirit shows me about the nature of the connection with you and Kevin is that it grows in harmony based on the communication and the level of communication that the two of you have, which is why what Kathy is saying is so important, that the level that you're currently at is what needs to be focused on. That way you can bring in that same energy into the connection. The one thing that Spirit shows me with you and Kevin is that there is this feeling of like home between the both of you. There is this feeling of something like the two of you wanting to create or focus on the foundation, the foundational natures of a connection or relationship. So that does seem to be in alignment between you both. And Scorpio, Taurus, I mean, they're opposites on the zodiac. They naturally go together and obviously oppose one another in lots of different ways. But there is that complementary nature to Scorpio and Taurus here. So I personally like the vibe. It does feel a little bit dramatic at times. It definitely feels like there could be moments of fiery friction or passion, if you will. But there is that common understanding that seems to keep coming over and over. And there's this sense of harmonious home or harmonious foundation that keeps ringing true when I connect with the both of you.
I actually pulled some cards for you too, Denise. I wanted to see what was going to come up. And what I got here, this is really interesting. So it really talks about asking the body. Okay. And what I get from that is, again, that hermit mode, really listening to Spirit, listening to your body. How are you feeling? I feel like this is a huge process in, through this is a huge process through that reconnection with yourself. Okay. Like this is a genuine, true reconnection with you. But here's what's coming through is it really talks about love and it talks about speaking the truth. And I don't know if you can see those, love and the truth.
Those are beautiful cards.
Are they gorgeous? My daughter bought them for me for Christmas and I'm in love with them. I love them. So, and here's the interesting, because I was just reading your comment and you say, yeah, he's dating someone else last I heard. Well, again, I don't know if this is somebody that you wanted to be with or not, but when we get wrapped up into those elements, well, they're with this, they're with that, that doesn't mean that you cannot put your vibration into what is supposed to be for you. If they are supposed to be for you, Spirit will find a way to create that. But basically, yeah, you have this. I think you had said that in my on my channel. You have this deck. I love it. But that's what I'm really receiving here. It feels like this love coming through. You have to be honest with yourself, not only in regards to what it is that you want, what you're drawing through, what it is that you expect out of the person. And it does feel like at times, you're on this higher level, this higher vibration, this higher realm than others. And you can be very kind about that. And how I mean by that is it's like you recognize the fact that you have these abilities, you have this strong and high vibration, and you have this recognition that not everybody is on that level with you. And so sometimes you can be very, it's not a bad thing to forgive, but very generous with that. So you kind of give allowances, and you're kind of like, it's okay because maybe they don't get it like I do. But here's the thing is that if that generosity,
cost of yourself.
What's that?
It's coming at the cost of herself.
That's exactly it, right? And so that's why I keep feeling like you have to be in that place of just, recognize. I'm sorry, I thought I just dropped something underneath my computer there. But you have to be in that place of allowing. And that's why I keep feeling like, ask the body, like, how are you feeling in regards to this? Does this allowance make you feel bad? Does it make you feel good? Do you feel this is the right move? Is this the right step forward? Like, it's always that listening to spirit, listening to your body. This is what I truly get from you. I keep hearing April. But in the meantime, there is going to be a little bit of work to get to that place. And this is going to be your inner work, not because of the fact that, you're dysfunctional or anything like that. But again, it's that element of generosity. Okay. It's that element of recognizing what it is that you deserve, but what others can bring to you. It's like making definitions in your existence at this time. And whoever is meant for you will come to meet you. And that's exactly it. But, as you're raising that vibration, I'm going to be honest with you. This is what I'm hearing. And damn, it's strong. I feel like somebody really spiritual is heading your way. And I keep feeling that that's why I kept getting like this higher vibration. It feels like this person that's coming in, they might have a really damn good sense of themselves as to who they are and what their abilities are too. And this could be very, very complementary. So
I feel that it is. And honestly, that's anytime that spirit shows me that there is work that has to be done on the self and it is of a deeper nature, it's always because it directly matches the input that's coming in.
Right.
Your output has to be, the same. It has to be that same level. And like you're saying in the chat, Denise, focusing on myself is more fun than focusing on other people. But the irony is that the more that you focus on yourself, the more that the relationships with other people becomes better, and they get healed too. So it really is a beautiful double-edged sword in that way.
And it's funny because a lot of people, we understand the concept of raising up our vibration, but it's funny how fast people that are of a lower vibration will just fall away. They just fall away, whether it's through a sense of discourse or a sense of whatever discontentment, or they're just fights, or however it is, they fall away. They find their way to fall away. These can bring these tower moments, but this is also a teaching moment, because again, especially if your energy is connected to each other and he's got the willpower to move forward, if this is somebody that you want. But as you go forward, they're going to follow. They're going to raise their vibration, because there is going to be that mirroring effect. May not be that particular person, but it is going to be who we have those connections to. So I hope that's helped, honey. Okay. Yeah. People have been showing their true colors. Yeah. So.
And they will. The more that you sit in that higher energy, higher frequency, or like we were saying earlier, in love, that unconditional acceptance, the more that people just show their true colors, because they don't know. You can't really combat something with love, because if you're unconditionally accepting, there's nothing to really combat. And so then people will show, well, for better or worse, sometimes they'll show their asses, right? They show exactly what's going on in there, and they'll show you those wounds. They'll show you those traumas that are covering up the love that's covering up the love within them, because that often happens. The traumas or ego issues, they cover up the deep love that is within them. So yep, they will show their true colors 100%. When you are in a high frequency or in a loving place, they absolutely do.
They show their true colors, and they also find a way to move on, you know. And sometimes we just need to let that energy grow. And if they're of a higher, if they're of that place where they're willing to accept what spirit is bringing through to them, they will rise up to match you.
Yeah,
and that's what we have to remember.
And
We
that's
can't
how you
lower
know.
ourselves for somebody else. You can never lower yourself for somebody else, because that's not your path, right? Rising yourself up to whatever level it is that you're supposed to be will be shown.
Well, you can lower yourself, but that's also what creates trauma, turmoil.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, like, I mean, you can for sure, but
a bunch of bull for your own life if you lower your vibration.
Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you so much, Denise, again, and truly hope that has helped. You know, and again, we're here. So I'm kind of looking forward to April to hear, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I would love to be able to hear from you.
Yeah, everybody that's listening in, you know, come back and let us know how things worked out, what was connected, what came through, because we're
here to help every step. That's the thing. We're here to help all of these steps, right? That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess what we can do is maybe get the
all right.
Regular.
So just if we want to pin, if you can scroll and find some of the instructions that I put in there and pin up the instructions. So just to remind everybody, we're about to open the room here for everyone else to get a reading. Kathy will let you know the parameters, but in order to be on the list, please type in your first name, your date of birth or zodiac sign, and your question. And that way I will have it. So there is a little bit of a delay, and that way I can, you know, have your question when your number or name is called. So it will be a lottery listing here.
I think we should maybe just, you know, put a, like we'll put a limit on so that people know, because I'm thinking I have to go for dinner tonight, which is kind of cool. I get to go out with one of my daughters, and so I'm thinking here
about 30 minutes.
Yeah, but maybe we should just put a time. Well, I guess we could up until 4 o'clock, I guess, or we just put a time limit of maybe like the next 4 people or 5 people or something like that. If we're doing it.
Yeah, whichever's going to work best for you. I was thinking generalization, just the next 30 minutes of being able to give readings here, if that works for your time.
Yeah, we can do that. All right. I'm just looking at, okay, the lottery. Here we go.
Well, I'm just going to open the list there. There's the bell.
Okay.
People already open it.
I'm just going to take a 2-minute break here. And I'm going to just change now that we can do that. So you guys aren't just sitting there looking at an empty chair. I think I can, can't I? Can I do that with you, Brandon? Can I just make it you? No, that's me.
Just do the dual ones. That works. That works.
Like right. This. Okay. Yeah, okay.
So actually, everybody, what Kathy and I were talking about is implementing a couple of little features here. You can go ahead. You can go.
Okay. All right.
We were talking about implementing a few new features here, where we can put on different screens now that we have this software. Different screens that we can show when we're taking the readings and stuff. So we're developing a lot. We're really excited about it. So this is just the first little step of using StreamYard today, just to see, you know, how well it works and what it does for everybody. But we got a couple other little ideas that's just going to make the show more fun and interactive. So we're excited. So again, if you are wanting a reading, please put in your first name, date of birth, or zodiac sign, and your question. Please type in your question in the chat, because there is a little bit of delay while we're working with StreamYard. So if we, for example, if your number or name is called and we call on you, it could be a 30-40 second delay before we even get your question. So in order to avoid dead air, please put your question in the chat now. If you are requesting a reading, that way I have it when you are called upon. So I am just building the list here right now. I've got Jody. Jody just wants general here. Got it. Thank you. And then let's see here. We've got Cinder. Thank you, Cinder. Be sure to put your question here in the chat. And then I've got my Asta. There we go. 29 November. I think I know somebody who's a 29 November as well. I always love those little synchronicities. Yes, perfect. Got your question, Asta. Thank you. Depending, we might be able to get to all of the questions today, depending on how long our readings go and how many other people submit for a question. Pumpkin pie, thank you, love. Simi Pisces, all right. So yeah, if it's just 4 people so far, we might be able to get to everybody's question. I don't know why Shafi's messages never come through like that. Oh, thank you, Shafi. That's sweet of you. Yes, we try to get to everybody that we can, and especially new people that come in. Oh, there's Cinder. Okay. So we do appreciate that. But if there is time, then we can absolutely answer your question as well. Shafi.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Shafi. That's really sweet. Yeah. So, thanks for being patient with me.
All good.
All right.
All right. Almost got them all in. I think it's we're working with a little bit different amount of delay here with StreamYard, so I think some more questions are rolling in here.
Okay.
So let me just keep building this list. And if you want to just make sure to say the parameters of the readings, Kathy, what they can or cannot.
Yeah. So guys, we don't do legal questions. We don't do health questions. Okay. We prefer not to look into third-party situations. That's, we can't tell you how somebody's relationship, that's not involved. Like if we can't tell you what your significant other's relationship is, if they're married or something like that. Okay. Like that's none of our business. We don't want to delve into that because we don't have, that third party's, permission really is what it is, right? So yeah, and health questions, I'm sorry that we don't answer, as well as, like I said, legal questions. Those are things that need to go to a medical or a legal professional. So
all right, so just note, everybody listening in, if you're just joining here and you're listening in, you want to get in on the list, maybe you're not sure yet, maybe you want to hear some readings, you can opt in at any time throughout the duration of the show and can be entered on the list. And it gives you just as equal of a chance as everyone else to get a reading. So I'm building the list here and I'm assigning your name with a number. So just take note of your number, and when it's called, that means you have received a reading. Hooray! I don't know. I think the lottery is exciting. Is it just me? I don't know. I remember Emily thought so.
Yeah, Emily's not here today. That's too bad.
All right, let's see here. All right, so I'm assigning y'all a number. So I'm putting that here in the chat so you know which one is yours. And then we can get going.
Perfect.
All right, I'm just going to type in a comment that you can pin up here, Kathy.
Sure. And guys, it's 3:33 my time, so make a wish.
333.
Maybe that's a significant number for somebody. Confirmation on somebody. 333 is your angels coming through.
All right, so if you want, you can either pin the lottery list or you can pin the instructions on what to do. Either or is great, I think.
Okay. We can always switch between them too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay, perfect.
All right, so we've got numbers 1 through 5. Again, if you are just tuning in, you can still join the list. Just go ahead and type your question, first name, date of birth in the chat, and we will put you on the list. All right, so first up, you ready, Kathy?
You betcha.
It's going to be number 5. That's Lala.
Lala. All right.
Josepha, Capricorn. Josepha, let's make sure they're here.
I just put your message up really quick, Josepha. I won't keep it up. It's just really quick. I've been having some financial difficulties lately. Any message from Spirit regarding that? Yeah. There is a message coming through. Just let me tap into that for a second. Okay, this is really interesting. There's an energy here of, it's so weird because I'm not. It's like an energy of releasing some fear around money, but I'm also getting a sense of procrastination around money in some way. It almost feels like I really feel a strong like 4 of Pentacles energy. Okay. So this is somebody kind of hanging on, hanging on to something. I don't know whether you're hanging on to money, which wouldn't make sense with the financial, struggling, but it almost feels like you're scared to let go of some fears about money that's coming through here.
I think you're
sorry, I almost get this sense, and I'll see if it resonates with what you're saying or with what you're feeling, but it almost feels like this sense of I have, when I have money, I'm scared to let it go. Because there is this fear that maybe it's not coming back in. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to release this fear. I keep hearing from Spirit, like, we're here to provide you with your needs. Your needs are going to be taken care of, is what I'm really getting strongly. But you have to do the work on releasing for your wants. And I keep hearing that your wants are going to be met, but you also can't procrastinate on doing the things that, paying the bills or whatever it is. Like it does feel a little bit of holding back energy in regards to that. I hope that makes sense. But what were you getting, Brandon?
Well, just looking at the
thrifty, yeah, like you're. There's a fear, like you're like a fear of being, but at the same degree, I feel like I think the thrifty, of course, is part of necessity, but there is an energy here of procrastination, like maybe not paying what it is that you're supposed to pay. I don't know if that makes any sense, but go ahead, Brandon. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What I keep feeling here is it feels like when I connect with your energy, Josefa, I'm looking at you. I keep seeing this. There's this whole array of abundance behind you, but Spirit keeps showing me it's like blocked or backed up in some way, like almost constipated, that it wants to come through, but it's not coming through. And what Spirit keeps showing me is that there does seem to be some kind of emotional association in regards to money, like worth is being defined based on money or money coming in. And Spirit keeps showing me that that relationship needs to be rewritten if you do want to release these anxieties around money, because money does not define who you are, what you're worth, your own sense of value. And it's hard to take that away in a world where money is prioritized. It's like almost impossible. And for a Capricorn too, my God, the way that Capricorns their worth
is amazing.
Can bring in. Yeah. So what Spirit keeps showing me is that it's the rewriting of the relationship that is going to release these anxieties. But I also keep something, and I want to make clear that I don't feel like this is your fault, Josefa. I feel like you are operating based on ideas that somebody else has implanted in your mind, and be it by way of example or behavior or something that you learned growing up, that is some kind of lack that's out there, and there might have to be some selling of your own self to be able to make money. So I mean, selling your soul or giving your time to things that you might really not want to do, and that there is this inherent idea of suffering to bring in money. And it feels like this is what needs to be rewritten. The Spirit keeps showing me that there is this opportunity that you get at this time in the next 2 months. They're showing me that you really can create these new roots, and these roots go underground. And so that is something that it means it's an idea that actually gains traction and solidifies within you, that you already are abundance, that energy is already there behind you, waiting for you. It's just waiting for you to let it in. And the way that you let it in is by rewriting the relationship that you have in your mind and your energy with what money is. Money, just allow it to be. Really, money is just an idea, and it's an idea that extends from abundance. And when you already are in when you accept abundance into your life, then money just naturally flows into it. It has always worked that way. It's just the the game, quote unquote, surrounding money, is that you have to give of yourself constantly in order to be able to receive it. And that's not always true. Money flows to people all the time. People come into large sums of money all the time without doing anything.
Yeah, it's like I said about that Four of Pentacles energy. It's like there's, again, that releasing that needs to happen. And, as Brandon was saying, it feels like there is, like you're supposed to be, like I heard from Spirit, your needs are going to be covered, but your wants, the things that you want are right behind you. Like they want to come through. You have to allow, you have to open up that energy. And it's funny because as Brandon was saying about, challenging beliefs that may have come from other people in some manner, it's funny because the orphaned card did show up. So when I get that, this is sort of an energy of where you might have felt very alone and having to take care of yourself in some manner. Like, people, as Brendan had, also had said, like just this challenging, where you have to like almost sell your soul in order to receive, like somebody putting a sense of non-worth towards you. And that is not the energy that you exhibit. Like I'm looking at your picture, I'm looking at you, and I keep seeing somebody who should be living up here. This is what I keep feeling. It's like you have this energy that you should be up here with that abundance. But I do feel that orphaned energy in some manner, like somebody trying to diminish your self-worth or your financial worth of some way, has put you in a lower category or a lower stance. But the abundance is right here. the abundance is wanting to come in. So this is just something, you know, there's some really interesting tapping techniques. Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but look up tapping for abundance or releasing money fears through tapping. And that might be something that might really help, because it will help release the triggers that are in our essence, our brains. You know, it changes our brain waves to allow more abundance to come through. So I hope that helps, Lala.
It really feels like it's there, Lala. It really feels like it's there. It's just a matter of allowing it. Imagine it like a dam, and behind that dam, you know, all that water being representative of the money and abundance that wants to flow in. And you've got to find the right way to tap into it, to let the flow happen. But also, being a clever Capricorn, you also be able to find a way to create a turbine in there where it just generates more money, and you've already got that natural part, those natural instincts. It's just about finding the right space, that right level of consciousness seems to be the theme of the show today, to be in order to let that flow free.
So I hope that's helped anyway. Yeah. And thank you again. So, all right. Next one.
All right. Hi there, Aaliyah. Please type in your first name and date of birth, and I will be glad to put you on the list. Oh, I just got a song stuck in my head. But that could be from me and not from somebody else here. Oh, maybe somebody here. I don't know.
What was the song?
That Weekend song, Blinding Lights.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. It's been stuck in my head.
You're so welcome, Lala. I honestly, it's like you're meant to be in a whole different place of abundance. Like, this is what I keep, like, when I look at you, I'm just like, this lady is well-to-do, or this lady, you know, has all of this wealth, you know, whether it's financial, material, you know, personal, emotional. It's like wealth. I just keep feeling that. So yeah, I hope that that's helped. I think it's literally just a matter of just changing to some degree and changing the perception and releasing. Yeah.
Oh, here's a little helpful hint. So based on one of your challenges, Kathy, I want to share this with everybody real quick, because I think Lala will be able to take note of something here. You know, you had made a challenge for us to manifest something physical, something small, something simple, and that week, you know, you gave the example of a butterfly, and so I'm like, okay, then I'll do a butterfly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in Texas, I'm in Austin, and I am currently looking out my window, looking at ice covering everything outside, which just doesn't happen here. So I'm like, okay, not sure how I'm going to see a butterfly, but I just trust, I have faith. You know, I've seen crazier things in my life. And so I went and I bought a phone case for a phone I didn't even have yet. And I didn't know if I was going to get the new iPhone, whatever. But I bought the case just because the color, something about it, the color, it was beautiful, but the texture of the phone case, it had this like smooth silicone, and I could just psychically imagine it in my brain of what it felt like. And I was just being called to it. It hit my gut so strong. And I'm like, just buy the phone case. I don't even have the phone, but just buy the phone case. And so I got the phone case. It was being delivered. I went and got the phone actually the next day, and it just kind of worked out. And I opened the phone case the day after, and what's in there? A sticker of a little butterfly, exactly as I was imagining it, sitting
there we go. How beautiful.
There really is there are reactions that you get the more that you open up to these things and kind of give that sense of surrender to the belief or idea, you know, that you're trying to bring into your life, or that goal. You know, those moments really happen, and it's just about following those instincts. Once you make a manifestation and make that declaration, following those instincts is what really brings it about.
Absolutely. And this might really help with you, Lala, as well, is, just getting into that energy of imagining, allowing, bringing it through. It doesn't matter if we're trying to manifest a penny or $1 million to the universe. There is no boundary with that. Basically what it is our own limitation. All right. We can easily probably manifest a penny because, we kind of go, well, a penny's pretty easy, blah, blah, blah. $1 million is just as easy. It's just getting into that mindset, that recognition, that allowing, that releasing of our limiting beliefs within that. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a new addition to the list. Are you ready?
You betcha.
All right. Next up is going to be lucky number 4.
Number 4 is pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
All right. And let's see, what was Pumpkin's question? I might have to just scroll and find it here. Just give me.
All right. So it's Simi. Simi is Pisces and is asking, I was wondering what the energies are between me and S.
Okay. Okay, Pumpkin, if you can, maybe give us their birth date as well, and
or zodiac.
What's that?
Or zodiac.
Yeah, or zodiac, something along that line. I am going to just tap in quickly to the energy just to see what is going on a little bit. The first thing I feel, they're a Cancer. Okay. 2 water signs going on.
That was a lot of water.
Okay, so here's what I'm getting from you. Whoa, there's a lot of energy that's coming through here. That's trying to define itself in some way. I almost feel like you have a wall up there. I feel like there is. Oh, this is a weird thing. I almost feel like the Cancer is one of these people that tries to define you or tries to pick you apart or tries to figure you out. Or I feel like there is a little bit of annoying energy coming from the Cancer towards you. It almost feels like they know better, or they, what's that word? It's like you know what you feel. You know what you feel. You know yourself. You know how it is that, you know what it is that you need to do. But there's this energy that's really odd that's coming in from this Cancer that's kind of putting a little bit of your walls up. So, but at the same time, I feel like this relationship could develop. I think it could develop faster if they weren't so bloody annoying at times. I don't know why.
Well, it's just that Cancer S, they just seem so, and it feels weird, so undefined. There seems to be something so unclear about how they're presenting themselves and how they're coming across, when it seems quite ironic because Cancers are extremely defined and are the ones that often have walls and very clear limitations. But it almost seems like there's just something weird with the way that they're coming at you, Pumpkin.
Yeah. And this, what, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Brandon. I always do, but that's that ADHD kind of thing. I got to get my words out really fast before, but she Pumpkin saying someone I met online, super new. I almost feel that could really explain this energy that we're both picking up, because again, they're clearly undefined. It almost feels like they're, I hate to say this, I feel like they're almost pushing an agenda towards you. And I hate to say this, I feel a little bit of manipulative behavior that's coming through with this person. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, just because the motives aren't super clear
Yeah,
to
like
Pumpkin. They're not being given to Pumpkin, like, it feels like, at all. But what's interesting is the energy between the two of them. It has this almost
potential.
youthfulness, this excitement, this immediate sense of emotional rapport between the two of you. And I think it's important what you're saying, Kathy, for Pumpkin to really consider, is to make sure that there is no sense of manipulation happening, to make sure that, because when emotions are involved and things are online, there is so much room for a moment, to be duped by somebody or catfished or, whatever it is. So I think it's really important to keep that in consideration. I don't feel like this person is fake. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel that it's important that when emotions like this are so quickly involved or felt, that it's just important to be very clear on the other person's motivation by way of conversation and communication, because there's so many things that you don't get when you are connecting and meeting online versus in person. There's so many missing elements that it's super important to be clear in communication. What I am being shown, though, and what Spirit is showing me, is that there is going to be this new wave of opening, of security, of things that come through to secure or stabilize the energy between the both of you. And Spirit shows me that this does open a new sense of harmony between you both. So it does look like either it's by way of naturally happening or heeding, our advice, that secure things, that energy, that word is very specific, is being secure, entering into your connection at this time. So it feels like something is clicking, something is moving in the right direction here.
I feel that too. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more on your end, as we were talking about at the beginning of the show. It feels like there needs to be a little bit more set boundaries in here. It almost feels like, I don't know exactly how to explain it. It's the energy that I'm getting, but it's like, you know who you are, okay? And they're it's almost like they're trying to figure you out, or trying to, figure out who you are, try to get to know you in some way. But there is a little bit of energy where there's a sense of some walls up, and it almost feels as though empathically you're kind of feeling this pushing from them in some manner. So you may need to be, as you're going through this relationship, I feel like you may need to really set some boundaries as you're going through this. I feel like they're very intuitive, especially they do have that water energy, that, water signs can be very intuitive. They can be very psychic. However, there's a little bit of, it's not, I think, Brandon, you had reused this word, it's not really defined. Okay. Well, he is trying to figure me out. He's curious.
Yes, the mysterious Pisces.
But at the same degree, there might be a little bit of pushing from him. That's kind of, you know what I mean? So I do feel you have to really follow your instincts with this person. You have to really, again, maybe set some boundaries with this person, all of that. Don't be scared to stand up for yourself. And I don't mean in a, like, they're going to come at you where you have to stand up for yourself. I mean, just like, hey, look, those are my boundaries. This is, this is where they are. This is my standards. That's what I keep feeling from this person. I do feel that there's a lot of kindness in their heart. Like, I don't feel like they're trying to, even though it's a little bit of a manipulative energy, but I don't mean manipulation like they're going to, try to manipulate you. It's a little bit of like, they don't really know how to approach in another way. So it seems a little bit.
It is just trying to figure,
I guess, non-direct, right?
Right.
Like it's a non-direct energy, is what I'm getting. I've been making him wait and let him know, and I let him know. Perfect. Okay. And that's exactly what you need to do. Let him know the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel that that's going to be a very, very important part of this relationship moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I am looking into the motivation here with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I am feeling that it makes sense now why it seems so broad and general, because what Spirit is showing me is that there is an undivine nature to his motivation, his
Right.
MO, but he does know that he wants some kind of growth or expansion, or to include you or a partner in this way. So it does feel a little bit ambiguous, and that could be this sort of unsettled energy that Kathy and I are really picking up on, is that it's not fully defined within himself yet. And so it's like, okay, I think you're not playing it, but you're handling it right, of letting him trying to figure you out, because it's allowing him to structure and really define, okay, what do I really want in a connection? That way it's not some, random chaos put together. There is a little bit of order to it. But, that's the watery nature sometimes, is things being a little bit chaotic, waves rushing and being thrown around. Anybody that's been in water, in the sea, of some kind, natural water, knows that it can be a little wavy and crazy.
Yeah, we haven't met yet. But again, I do feel you guys meeting. I mean, I do feel that happening. I do feel it just, it's okay to put it on your terms. It's okay to make it in your terms. That's how I feel.
And if Spirit is showing me that security is entering soon, it looks like the meeting is going to go well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I hope that has helped. I think we have maybe time for one more.
Okay.
And then I have to get ready for going out with my daughter.
Yay. All right. Well, thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you, love.
Hi, Pumpkin. I hope that that's helped.
And enjoy the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait.
All right. And last, not least, going to be number 2, Cinder.
Hey, Cinder. Okay. So what are we looking into for Cinder? My grandchild. The energy and well-being of my grandchild, who I cannot see. Okay. Well, congratulations on that. Is Cinder still here?
I believe they are. Yep.
Okay. Cinder, would you prefer the first question or your backup question? So we can look into both, or like what either one. I feel that that's fine.
Fat cash. This is fat cash. I like that comment.
I didn't see it. What are you talking about?
Cinder said, okay, backup question. How will this grandma make some fat cash?
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. All right. I think, I don't know if, I know that there's that delay, so it's kind of, the first, if you can. Okay. I felt more drawn actually to that question right away. Okay, so I feel like first of all, is it a boy? Because I'm really getting a masculine energy around that. Was it a grandson? But I feel a little frustration from the mother.
Yes.
Yeah. When were they born? What is your grandchild's birthday, if you don't mind? If they can, yeah, I think that might help too. It's a boy, 12. Oh, okay. So I'm getting a little frustration from the mother. Okay, Is your child... So I feel, okay, it feels like I don't know if the parents are together. Again, you can confirm down below. It feels as though there's a little bit of, in general, I'm going to tell you that I feel the grandchild, like your grandchild, is okay. Like their emotional or their physical well-being is going to be okay. That's the first thing. I want to calm that down. Okay. And I want to give you that reassurance. But there is this chaotic energy around them. And that is, it feels like it's like both parents have a sense of immaturity about them. I feel like the father energy is trying to appease the feminine energy. Okay. The masculine energy of the parent is trying to appease the feminine energy. She feels like a freaking Tasmanian devil. That's I don't mean like she's going to eat the child or anything like that, but there's this like whirlwind energy of just, it's like a sense of chaos in some way. But again, I feel like your grandchild is going to be okay. It just feels like in her head, there's an energy of like, and the father, the masculine energy, is trying to always appease, in some way. So, or to either trying to appease or trying to see the child, or, trying to, like, I just feel like he's really trying something. So I hope that makes sense. Like I feel like your grandchild in general is okay. I actually do feel like there's going to be a change within this energy. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like a better change within this energy. It feels like a stabilization is going to be coming in. I do feel this sense of, I'm feeling long-term, like when I take a look into your grandchild's energy, I feel this sense of long-term stabilization within their life. Okay. I never want to put any, boundaries on a child, because they can go all over the place. Like they can basically become who they want to become and, be who they want to be. But I feel like that energy of your grandchild is going to be very stabilized as they move forward. Despite that Tasmanian devil energy in the mother's head. Like I feel a stabilization. That's what I just keep hearing. Stabilization. There's going to be a change within the energy. I feel like, I don't know if I almost feel like there might be an energy of the father getting some sort of sense of custody here, or being able to see the child, like being able to be the one that's going to bring a sense of stabilization to this child as they're moving forward. So I feel like everything will be okay. I feel like you're going to be able to see them soon. Okay. Like maybe not tomorrow or next week or anything like that, but I feel an energy of seeing soon. Okay. Yeah. And he will weather the storm. I do feel that. Yeah. He will weather the storm. And I do feel like you will be able to have that connection with this grandchild.
I agree. It feels actually really necessary, because when I'm tapped into the grandchild, I feel the grandchild really picking up on a lot of it seems like the chaotic communication energy that's currently surrounding them. And for whatever reason, Spirit keeps highlighting the communication. And so then, of course, I'm asking about what's to come in the future between Cinder and the grandchild. And they are showing me that there is going to be this sort of uniting and opening between them. And it seems really important that Cinder, you are creating clear lines of communication with them throughout their life, so they know what it looks like to, talk with somebody that is cared about, who they can trust, who they can rely on and depend on, and somebody who's not just talking just to word vomit or anything like that, or talking just to talk. So that really, I don't know why that feels so important right now as far as what's coming in the future development, but that seems to be shining through.
Yeah. I dream of walking down a medical hall. That's interesting. I don't feel the medical hall having to do with anything to do with the grandchild. Like a medical emergency or anything like that.
Right.
I'm not really, I mean, God forbid that happen, but it's not the first thing that's coming through. It almost feels like, kind of like Brandon had said, that stabilizing energy, or being able to bring that sense of balance to them. I feel a closeness and a bond that is going to be with this grandchild.
Yes.
That's going to be very, very deep and very, very strong. I actually almost hate to say it, but I almost feel like your bond with the grandchild is going to be stronger than his bond with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we never really want to put that on to people because, that's hard, right? Like, to say, hey, the mom is this, but this is how I keep feeling.
I agree. I feel that as well. I feel like that's going to develop over time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the chaos that's there now, it's not that it's temporary, because it might exist with them, the parents, for a while. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the grandchild having to go through that feels temporary.
Yes. Yes. So I hope that has helped, Cinder. And by the way, call me sometime. Because I haven't talked to Cinder in a while, and since I think before Christmas. So I've been, it's been kind of crazy for here, and everything. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, your donations, your help. We're going to be here throughout the week, or next, we're going to be here throughout the week. Oh my God, I just did a commercial like off of Coma or something. We're going to be here
we might be doing new shows. That's why you got to stay subscribed.
And we truly appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for everything. And thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kathy, for having this space and bringing me in. I love it.
All right, guys. You guys take care. Remember, you can reach Brandon at thedreamteacher.com. You can reach me at oracleintuitions.com. Also, my Facebook and my Instagram page. And thank you so much to everybody. And many blessings throughout the week, guys. All right.
Have a good dinner, Kathy. Enjoy.
All right. Take care, guys. All right. Bye. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day. If you don't got a love interest, give yourself a big hug and a nice bar of chocolate.
Hey, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.